Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. We've got the boat loaded up. We're heading towards the lake, and today I've got a bit of a plan that I want to try to execute on. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to try to throw a new bait today that I've never thrown before, while also expanding on a bite that I found last week when I was fishing. And so, yeah, we just got to go get after it. We got to see what's going to happen. We're post front. We've had a bunch more rain here in the East Tennessee Valley, so I'm going to be looking for clear water. I'm going to be looking for mixing water. I'm going to be probably cranking a money badger and doing a little something else that I think you guys are going to be super interested to see me throw. But without further ado, let's get into this thing, and hopefully you guys will enjoy today's video. Well, guys, we have made a move, and as you can see, the water is a lot cleaner down here. This is kind of water clarity I was actually looking for to try to catch a few today. So right here, about 17 foot of water right now. I think we're going to throw maybe a Ned rig, drop shot, that kind of stuff. Pick up the crankbait here in a minute and just kind of finesse around, see if we can find us a few. Well, guys, that is my first ever fish on a drop shot. There you go. That's pretty funny. I never caught one on a drop shot before, but there you go. He ain't a giant, but it's my first fish on a drop shot. That's fun. Heck yeah. There we go, a little max scent flatworm. That's awesome. There we go. Well, knock something off the list of things that I've not caught a fish on yet. Drop shot being one of them. You know, guys, it's funny. Past couple years have been a lot of years of first for me, and that was my first fish on a drop shot. So that's actually pretty cool. I mean, you know, it's not often that this far into a person's fishing career, we'll say, right? You know, I've been fishing since I was big up enough to walk. I mean, I don't remember the first time I went fishing. I was so small. But, you know, it's funny. I'm just not the person that throws a drop shot. And I wasn't raised throwing a drop shot. And I know a drop shot is super effective, but it's just not a bait that I've got a ton of experience with. So it's really cool to pick up a bait like a drop shot and come out here and catch a fish on it. And honestly, I think we're going to keep it in our hand for just a little while and see if I can get some more bites on it and kind of start to learn this bait. You know, my goal today, honestly, when I came out here was I want to catch some fish. You know, like I said when we first started, I was going to go in that dirty water and see if they wanted to eat that crankbait. Well, they've dropped the water a little bit. These fish have seemed to moved off into a little bit deeper water. And, you know, my secondary goal was to throw this drop shot a little bit, because I kind of figured the other day when I found some of these fish that I found that some of them would be sitting off a little bit deeper that might want something a little bit finesse. You know, I caught that one on that Ned rig in the last video. If you've not seen that one, I'll make sure to link it down below. But it was out off, you know, probably 20, 25 foot of water, and they were on some bait fish. And I figured, you know, I bet a drop shot, or that scenario with a drop shot, you know, these fish would probably eat it and probably be a great chance for me to learn a new technique in the drop shot and get to know it just a lot better than I know it now. And so that's really cool. I mean, it's just a cool learning experience. You know, I don't want you guys to ever think that I know everything, because I do not at all. I still have so much to learn, and I'll learn until the day that the Lord takes me home, as far as fishing goes and as far as life goes. You know, that's one thing that I instilled in my kids as an educator, was be a lifelong learner. And I think that fishing is no different. Always be able to pick up something you've never picked up before and learn a new technique. And so, first fish on the drop shot. There we go. Here's to learning a new technique over the next couple years here, and trying to master one of the other finesse techniques that I've neglected for many years, which is the drop shot. There's another one. Wow, that's a good fish. Wow. Okay. There, bud. Wow. Another one on the drop shot. Well, my assessment of the drop shot already: number one, I like it. You can feel the bites really easy. Number two, it's fairly easy to fish. And number three, it hooks them good, and I like hooking them good. So there's an absolutely gorgeous, that is a good long, so that's a kayak smallmouth right there. Absolutely gorgeous fish. Thanks, bud. There's another one. Another pretty good one. Whew, I probably shouldn't have boat flipped that one. There's another one. I'll tell you what, guys, these are good kayak fish. They are, I don't think they do you much in a boat tournament, but they do you well in a kayak tournament. They are long and skinny. Thanks, bud. All right. Number 3 on the drop shot. Number 3 on the drop shot. Ain't too bad. Ain't too bad at all. I'm throwing this thing here for a minute. So one thing, guys, that I don't know if this is completely true, and I actually need to ask John, the biologist, or Gene, the biologist, about it, is whenever I find fish on a place, more specifically smallmouth on a place, it seems like after you catch a couple, that even if they're schooling, that you catch 2 or 3 and you put them back in the water, that they just stop biting. And I've heard a theory that they secrete some sort of like fear hormone into the water, or like a danger hormone into the water, and it'll actually make the other bass, you know, stop biting or disperse, or, you know, whatever that hormone kind of tells them to do. And I've heard that before, and I don't know if it's totally true, but I'm wondering if that's what just happened right here, because I got a bite, and then you would think, you know, you just, there's 2, 3, 4, 5 of them sitting here, that you keep getting a couple more bites, but I've not. And I just wonder if it's where I caught those 2 fish and they kind of secreted those hormones into the water. Go down in the comment section, let me know if you've ever heard of that before, and if you've seen any like studies or like paperwork on it, because I'd love to read about it a little bit more. But it's definitely something that I need to ask the biologist. All right, guys, we are going to move along here. I think that spot was good for 3 fish, and that's about it, which is just fascinating. I mean, I really don't understand why there was only 3 bites there, and that's it, but there was, and we're gonna keep on moving, see if we can go catch some more fishes somewhere else. There's another little pocket right here. I like kind of how the point lays out going into the pocket, which is, you know, where these fish were at. So it may just be a main lake thing, you know, main lake pocket kind of deal, and they're just not wanting to be anywhere else. So we just gotta keep moving, keep piecing it together here. Made us a little snack. Got us some trail mix. I tell you, boys and girls, if you ain't had Cars trail mix, best freaking trail mix in the world. So good. That wasn't a plug, by the way. It's just really good trail mix. Cars, if you're out there and you're listening, let's have a conversation.
Side of the runway. Bunch of big ass vultures land down there. Old Sully comes in. Wah! It's a vulture. You think about that?
Oh, I would. And it was that strike that happened in Alaska. That was that fatal strike. And that fatal strike was for the military aircraft. And it was brought, the whole aircraft was brought down by a flock of geese. And it killed everybody on board. There was like over 30 souls. And so that was kind of that big jump. Of like, okay, we need to do something.
Well,
This doesn't happen again.
little cutie bit it.
That's when they recognized it as.
A little tub.
Yeah, even though
Go back and get way bigger, bud. Keep eating like you're eating. You're gonna be a giant one day. Heck yeah. Number 4. Okay, guys, we moved around a little bit here. These fish seem to want to be on the back sides of points, which is funny. You know, they're just right on the back side of any kind of main lake point, but then as you go further back, they just seem to disappear, which is very interesting to me. Like, I can't get a bite. Like, literally right there's the point. This is the main lake. Right there's the point. I can get a bite there, but any of this rest of stuff that looks, I mean, essentially the same, sets up essentially the same, they don't want to sit on it, which is very strange. So we may just have to run point to point to point and keep throwing this drop shot, see if we can get a few more bites. I am going to kind of ease back in here though, because I just like the way that this looks and sets up down through here. I mean, it looks like exactly what I just caught a fish on, even though it's a slightly more gravelly rock. These fish should be sitting on this stuff, getting ready to move up here and do the boogie, if some of them aren't already doing the boogie, especially these smallmouth. You know, smallmouth will start spawning 55, 56, 57. And so, I mean, I'm at 52.4 here, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of these smallmouth aren't, you know, moved up here wanting to try to do it. And so, you know, I'm kind of intercepting some that are deciding, hey, it's getting that right temperature, it's getting that right time, it's about time to start making babies. So yeah, very interesting. Here's bite number 4 of the day. Just gotta keep on hammering them on them, and maybe we'll actually catch 5, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, we have moved again, and we're going to crank for a minute. We're going to see if we can get a fish to bite the old money badger. The wind's picked up pretty good, so I've kind of moved out here on some of this main lake stuff, where some of this mixing water is at, and we're going to crank the money badger for a minute and see if we can get one to react to it. Just with the wind picking up like it has, it should make this crankbait bite a little bit better. Should be able to get some of these fish to eat this thing, and I'm thinking the main lake deal is going to be good. Then we're going to go back to that pocket where we caught them the other day. I'm going to check that as well and see how the crank and bite is there. So yeah, we're going to probably power fish the rest of the time that we're here. I think the winds just got up a little too much for me to really effectively fish the drop shot. So I feel like if anything's going to get them, it's going to be the old badger. There we go. Yeah, I knew there'd be a couple up here. Decent one. Yep. Heck yeah. Look at that, guys. I think he freaking wanted it. Let's stop right here. This fish up plugged. Lord of mercy, you wanted it. There you go, guys. Yep. Heck yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah. All right, guys, like I said, that wind has started blowing, and so we moved back out here on some of this main lake stuff and started cranking this money badger. What that wind does is it positions these fish. As the wind starts to blow, it starts to create current, and that kind of natural current, it's not generated by a dam, it's not generated by, the funneling of water through something. It's simply generated because the wind starts blowing. And what happens is, as that wind starts to blow, those fish will just move right up on the bank, and they'll sit there and they'll wait for things to come to their face, like shad and crawdads and everything else. And I've talked about this before. Fish are lazy, and so any instance where they don't have to put in a ton of work to be able to eat something is an instance where they're going to be. And this is a perfect example. It's a main lake point. You got the wind blowing in here on it, and that fish is just sitting up in these rocks ambushing whatever comes by their face. And that money badger looked like something that he wanted to eat. We've got quite a bit of this down through here that we're actually going to fish. This is kind of just a little short section of bank that doesn't have a ton of docks on it, because you got a ton of docks that way. We have this one right here, and then you got a couple down through here. But anytime that you can find this rock like this where there's a bunch of docks, the thing is the fish are probably on the rocks near the docks. It's just they're not as accessible as when you can find an area of rocks like this that don't have a bunch of docks on them, and you can crank down through here and just hit a lot of those high percentage areas. So there's fish number one of the day on the old badger. There's another one. Love it. I love it. I love when a plan comes together. There we go. There we go. Look at him peeing. Yeah, I think some of these are males. I think they're moving up there, getting ready to do the boogie. Because both of them bites have been dirt freaking shallow. And I bet you this morning what we were catching was some pre-spawners getting ready to move up. And then these are all males. They're up here now, ready to do it. Sorry, I'm tearing up your jaw there, bud. Get you unhooked. Get you unhooked, get you out of here. Thanks, pal. Fun bite. Tell you what, boys and girls, that'll get your heart pumping right there. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's one of my favorite things in fishing. I don't know if you guys have experienced it, I'm sure many of you have, is when you go, hey, they should be doing this thing, and then you go do that thing and you catch some fish. It's one of my favorite things. I love when a plan comes together. I love when my ideas are correct when I'm fishing, because it shows that my instinctual, fishing ability, that ability to just fish the moment, is honed. And I wouldn't say honed, but it's getting honed. You're sharpening that ability when you go and catch fish like this. And I love that moment when a plan comes together, because I think that's one of the most important things about bass fishing, is the ability to instinctually fish. Look at a current set of circumstances, whether it be the weather, the sun, the water, whatever it is, and be able to go, okay, this is what I need to do to catch a fish. And that is what I just did with the old money badger. Water's dirtied up, wind is blowing. Come back up here and get in some of this dirtier water with the money badger. Put some fish in the boat. 2 on the old badger, right where I thought they'd be. Now we just gotta go find some more bank that sets up like that. And I think if we go right around the corner, there's another piece of bank that sets up very similarly. So we're gonna go check it out. Yeah. To be 100% honest with you guys, I'm not going to stick with this long if I don't get a bite. I just like the way that it kind of looked and laid out. This is nothing like what I was getting bites on, but there is some of that bank right over here behind us. I just don't want to cut this guy off. There's a guy fishing up the bank on the other side from me towards that stuff. So we may run on up and just go see if we can find some more stuff that looks like what we were just fishing. But yeah, I'd like to get a couple more bites before we have to get out of here, because we ain't got much longer, probably about 30-45 more minutes, and we probably need to be heading back to the home because I have a kayak to sell. I do have a kayak to sell. You guys are going to be seeing something, big dramatic change in Alex Red Fishing kayak scene here before too long. I'll explain all of it when we get there, of course, but yeah, you guys, I love y'all because you're just like, you'll comment things like, when did you get rid of your autopilot? I don't know, like 2 years ago. I'm really gonna blow y'all's titties out your butts when I get this new thing that I'm getting. So yeah, we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, I'm not gonna spend much time on this, and we're gonna keep moving because this isn't exactly what it looked like, you know, over there, but I know there's definitely some similar bank somewhere like that. There's one. Well, I may stay here for just a minute. Ain't a big one, but it's another fish. Alright, boys and girls, we got to get out of here. It is time to leave. I don't want to, but we got to. But we caught a few today. Caught the last 3 or 4 there on the Money Badger, of course, 6.25 size, 12-pound floor shield, 7-foot medium elite bass Fenwick cranking rod, Revo STX, 6/8 gear ratio. And then we also caught some on a bait that I've never caught them on before, and that is the drop shot. So it was just a white flatworm, 10-pound trilene fluorocarbon leader to a 20-pound mainline X5 braid. Had a little 3/16 ounce drop shot weight on there. And this is another Bass Elite, but this is the 7-foot medium spinning rod. And then I had that paired up with a Revo SX spinning reel. And if you've not checked out the new Revo spinning reels, you need to. All of them have that xenon design, very cut down, very minimal, very lightweight, and just an awesome little reel. But yeah, guys, that's what we caught them on today. That's what we were doing. We're gonna head back towards the boat ramp, and I will see you guys when I get in the truck. Well, boys and girls, there we are. We're gonna call that one finished for today. I had a fantastic time. I expanded on a bite that I found last week. I was able to start learning a new technique in the drop shot and just had a really good time. Any day I can come out here and I can explore and I can find some new stuff, fish a new area of the lake that I've never fished before. I mean, it's a good day in my book, and that is what we did today. So now we gotta head back to the house. Like I said, I got a kayak to sell, and here in just a couple weeks, you guys are gonna see just a whole brand new kind of kayak deal on the Alex Red Fishing channel. So I'm excited to show it to you guys. Go down in the comment section, let me know what you think that I'm getting. But as always, guys, you guys are sweet, and thank you for watching.